Hello, UAE Grow Your Finances community.
Where we discuss how to make your money work for you as opposed to the other way around and how best to grow your finances within the UAE. Here we like to flip challenges around and create ideas, opportunities, and possibilities so that we can all succeed together because there are enough seats for everyone at this table. Ross, give us an honest answer on how you are doing, what you have just been through, why we have been MIA.
So we've been through multiple sicknesses over and over again. Don't worry, guys, nothing tragic. It's been the flu. Well, I went to South Africa for a quick business trip. When I came back, I think I brought a big, really bad flu back. My baby got sick. I got sick. My wife got sick. Our nanny got sick. Everyone got sick.
We all ended up hospitalized at different times.
And we rotated. So we did it again and again. So it was like a never-ending circle. But I think we are at the end of it.
Inshallah, knock on wood.
So, guys, it's good to be back, and we apologize. We really, really apologize because I know a lot of you say that this is your go-to podcast when you're on the way to work. So, sorry about making your workday boring.
Funny that we have been speaking this year about this year being our year of health and wealth and how it's so intertwined and connected. I always say everything happens for a reason. This is the perfect literal example of how when your health suffers, so does your work suffer. We haven't been on the podcast because our health has been suffering. So now we're just going to make it even more of a focus going forward. Taking care of our immune systems, taking care of our fitness levels, our bodies, our gut, everything. We're going to delve into all of it, see what's really going on in our bodies so we can be at our peak performance, maximize our potential. And I'm looking forward to it. I've really learned from this experience and so happy to be back. And we hope to keep the momentum going and just keep building on it and getting better and better, healthier, stronger, more energetic, more vitality and rejuvenation and energy. On that note, Ross.
Yep.
Are you ready to make finance fun?
Absolutely.
In 3, 2, 1, fun. Today's discussion topic is actually a situation that happened to us the other day with regards to arranging furniture for our new house, which, by the way, is quite a task. I was given the task of arranging all the furniture for the house, and it's really fun, and I love creating and designing. However, Dubai prices are a bit of a bummer, and as soon as I saw the prices of furniture and the furniture items that I wanted, let's just say my dreams were a little bit crushed. So I found a place that was reasonably priced to make our bed because we want a nice super king big bed. And I found it online, and they had a price there online listed for super king bed. And I put it in my cart and I was about to check out. But then I wanted to know if they have other fabric options for the side of the bed because they had a few fabric options. So I decided to WhatsApp them. And I said, do you have any other fabric options to choose from? They said, yes, actually, we'll send you samples. So I thought, okay, this is perfect. They're going to send me samples. I can see the fabric in real life. I can make a good choice. So they sent me the samples. Fabrics were beautiful. I was very happy. So since I had them on WhatsApp, I just told them, okay, I'm going to go ahead. This is the fabric that I chose, and I would like to go ahead with the order. So they sent me the quote for the order. And the quote was a lot more than the online price. So then I said, okay, what about this other fabric? If I choose this other fabric, what will the price be? And they gave a similar price. And I saw that these fabrics were the same as what I was choosing online. It wasn't that the fabric that was bringing up the price, right? So I realized that they had a problem with their online price. Like they had miscalculated it or they had listed it as the incorrect price online. And it was significantly less. I'm talking about thousands less, which I was very excited about, of course. So then I thought, out of human decency, I will let this business know, because as you know, we are all about supporting businesses here, especially local businesses. And I saw that this lady, she started this business because she wanted to make quality furniture for a reasonable price. So I thought, okay, this is great. This is a great philosophy. I'll just let her know that there's like a problem with her business. But anyway, I'll still check out and get it for the price that it is online in my cart, right? Because I can select the fabric that I want online and I can check out and get it for that price. So I told her, just so you know, your price listed online is this lower price. And I told her what that lower price was. And she said, no, that's for the queen size. And I said, no, I can check out with that price for a super king size. And she said, are you sure? And I just said, yes, I'm sure about this. So she immediately went and changed the price online. I think she said thank you, just a normal thank you. And I said, okay, but I still want to buy it for that price. Because I had told you the price before and you had approved the purchase, which is the whole reason why I went through with getting the fabric samples, etc., etc. And I could have just stayed quiet. I could have been dishonest and just stayed quiet and checked out with the bed at that lower price. But I thought, I'll help her. I want to help her business. And I thought, of course, she will give me that price because, by the way, well, actually, I'll get into the reason why she had to give me that price. But the first question is, ethically speaking, should I have told her that there was a mistake on the website, or should I have bought my bed and then told her? And by the way, when I told her, please, can you give me the price that you had listed online? She said you would never have gotten that price anyway because I would have checked the order and I would have seen that it was incorrect, the price, which is not true. That was not true. And it really irritated me, honestly speaking, because I was courteous to this lady and we all know that would mean either that she was not getting any orders because it was listed at that price for a while. I had my eye on it for a while. It would mean that she was either not getting any orders or she was getting orders and she wasn't checking the price. And if the case was that she wasn't getting any orders, then she should be happy to sell it at that price, right? To finally sell an order. So it doesn't make any sense what she was telling us. So that was not true. So now the ethics of the company on my ethics dial has gone way down. Now I'm like, oh my gosh, this lady is not only not willing to even entertain the idea of lowering the price for the person who's saved her thousands of dirhams by letting her know that it's the wrong price online, but she's also like flat out lying to me. So ethically speaking, what would you do in that situation? And I'm asking the audience too. What would you do in that situation? Ross?
So what I would do in that situation is I would definitely give you that lower price. If I was the owner of that store, I would definitely give you the lower price and I would thank you. Because at the end of the day, if it's thousands that you're saving per sale, probably tens of thousands of dirham for a small business is huge.
Absolutely.
So definitely I would repay you in some way, and a small token of appreciation would be to give you the price that it was listed for before.
Or at least even a discount.
Because people that have ordered previously before you got that price and did not even help out the business by telling them, listen, this price is lower.
Exactly.
So you are literally helping them and not getting anything back. Whereas people have not helped them and just taken advantage of them. And maybe the people before you didn't know that it was a lower price than it should be. However, you are literally being their operations manager by saying, listen, there's a mistake online.
Absolutely. I was doing work for their business, basically.
And I actually also started speaking to her because normally I'm much better at
doing business. You're just more business savvy in general.
Correct. So I messaged her as well and she flat out said no. So
she really showed that she does not value us as customers or as human beings in general. and I'm not trying to bash the business, we'll never say the name of the business
Never.
either, but I felt like a nobody. I felt like an absolute nobody and just completely used and then disregarded. You know what I mean?
She could have even said to you, listen, here's a 10% discount.
Absolutely.
But she did not even give 1% discount for such a big thing for her business. This is huge for her business.
Absolutely. Because I had been checking that bed for months. I'm talking about months and months and months. I had it on my radar because I'm very, very careful with what I select, which furniture I select. And I was watching the discounts. I was watching what's available to me. And I was checking that specific item for months. So it was up at that price for many, many months. So then I discovered that the law is that if you advertise an item at a specific price, so say you have it listed online for a certain price, and a customer comes to buy the item at the time of it being that price. They're saying, okay, I'm going to go ahead and purchase it from you, and it's advertised online at that price. The law is that you have to sell it to them at that price. Okay, so I discovered this. I let her know very nicely, very respectfully, by the way, this is actually the law, so you are actually obliged to give it to me at that price. So please can we go ahead with the sale? And she flat out just said, I don't care. She basically just completely disregarded the law and said no. And she was actually rude about it. Like her message was like, I have told you already. And then I said, yes, but we've only since discovered that this is the law. But it seems that she was already informed that that was the law. Like she knew that that was the law. She wasn't changing in any way. So now it's not only ethics in question, it's illegal practice as well. And by the way, this is actually a very popular furniture store. It comes up when I research things like all the time. It always comes up. So I'm left quite astounded. I'm like, is this the way businesses operate here? I was under the impression that Dubai is very strict with these kinds of things and very regulated. Is this person just entitled? I don't know what the situation is, but I'm sure that people listening have had similar experiences, and I'd love to hear about that because we're on a mission to make sure that everybody wins. And that is our philosophy. And at the same time, I also feel that running a business that way, it's very sad to see because the business owner is actually not doing themselves a favor. And if we want businesses in Dubai to thrive and in this region to thrive, we've got to shift that mentality. We absolutely have to shift that taker's mentality. Let's just take as much as I can from the customer, from the consumer, from the general public, and just like be heartless and cold about it. When a business owner leads with empathy and meets the customer's needs in a reasonable manner, of course, in a reasonable manner, that is when the business thrives. You have to listen to the customer. And I personally believe, and so do you, Ross, you can give your own opinion, that we had every right, not only ethically, but also legally, but I think also ethically, we had every right to pursue a better price for that bed, given the situation.
Absolutely. I mean, let's go back to the point about the fact that this is illegal, what she has done, right? We are the average Joe, right? We are middle class. We're not extremely wealthy. We're not extremely poor. We're in the middle. The middle guys, I think, in these type of situations, always lose. Because let's take it back to when we had our wedding in South Africa.
And remember, guys, if you know our story, it was cancelled during COVID, our wedding, and we had paid for the full thing. And they didn't want to refund us anything, 0%. They didn't want to refund us. Yes.
We had to go through all of the governmental setup systems, right? All of them failed. There were 3. We went through the first one. If this doesn't work, you have to go through the second one. We went through the second one. If this doesn't work, you have to go through the third one. So we went through all the 3 systems, which took months.
Yeah.
To get responses. You know, I feel like these systems are set up for failure. They're set up to protect the business owner and to let them do whatever they want to the customer.
Yes, and you have to fork out money for a lawyer if you really want it to be taken seriously, which, by the way, we did eventually do, and we won our case. So that's a good ending to that story.
However, we are lucky because my brother's a lawyer and his law firm did it on a contingency basis for us. However, the middle class and the poor class would never be able to pay for a lawyer. And even if you are able to pay for a lawyer, you wouldn't be able to get enough money back from the claim to pay off that law firm. So at the end of the day, going through a lawyer, you would lose money.
Yeah.
So I feel like these governmental systems and the way you have to fight with a lawyer, it's very faulty. And it's not just South Africa. It's the systems worldwide. At the end of the day, the systems are built, yes, to handle bulk cases, to handle bulk submissions, because there's a lot of people in most countries. However, we need a better system. If you're having an issue with a business like this, you should be able to have a quick response, especially when it's dealing with something like there's a price change online. I saw the price. I told them about it. They didn't give me the price. Okay, we are going to enforce that business to give you the price. However, the business knows that we cannot do anything about it. And that's a sad thing.
So would you report this case just for ethics' sake and for the sake of future customers and regulation?
I wouldn't. The reason why I wouldn't is not because I don't want to help the future customers. It's because nothing will ever come out of it. And that's the reason why she is so, okay, do what you want.
That's a very cynical outlook and maybe also realistic. I don't know. What do you guys think? Should we bring the case forward? What does the general public think? Just for the sake of firstly seeing if the system actually works, like if there is regulation. I would be interested to see what would be done about this situation. Because I would imagine it's a minor case compared to other things that could be happening, you know, in the country. Like people could be losing tens of thousands of dirhams or even millions, you know. So I would like to see, like, if it would be taken seriously. I would just be interested and to see how regulated it really is in the country, as well as I do feel that as the general public, we need to hold businesses to a higher standard if we want things to change.
See, for me, I do think that the only way to do it is to leave reviews.
I actually read an article the other day that somebody went to jail for a review. They left a review and they went to jail. And my understanding was that defamation is if you say things that are false or you attack the business on a personal level, like you throw out words like disgusting business or terrible or something like that. But if you just state the facts of what happened, that's okay. So if you do a bad review, but you just state the facts of what happened without expressive, elaborate language, that's okay. So I don't know. The article didn't mention what actually happened with that review, but somebody did a bad review. The business owner reported it and they got fined or they went to jail or something. So that's also, I don't know. I don't want to make a comment on that because I'm not too sure. I'm not 100% savvy on what the law is around that, but there needs to be more regulation, in my opinion, in terms of holding businesses to a higher standard. If we want better quality service.
Correct. For the average Joe. For the poor and the middle class, there should be some sort of system that is quicker, more efficient, that can hold a business liable.
Yes, but I can imagine that these types of business owners prey on the rich, which is very sad as well.
Yeah.
Because it causes them a headache. If not, they do lose money because if they have to go forward with a lawyer or whatnot, as you know, you don't get everything out of it that you should. It's never completely just because you do have to pay the lawyer fees, which they deserve because they're going to be working for you for the case. So it's just an ugly situation all round, and it shouldn't have to get to that. And business owners out there, if you are listening, you need to lead with empathy and listen to the customer and look at business owners who are incredibly successful in the world and follow their example. Go and have a look at Steven Bartlett's podcast episode with Brian Chesky, the founder of Airbnb. Draw inspiration from that. Watch things from business owners who are extremely successful. Listen to podcasts, follow them on Instagram, get inspiration from them. They will show you the way, because leading with empathy and tuning into what the customer wants and needs is the way.
Or you can just listen to your customers.
Or you can just listen to your customers. And I think that business owners are a little bit tired of listening to customers who are unreasonable. I think that could be a problem.
But it's very easy to see someone's unreasonable.
Yes.
And someone's reasonable.
Yes.
So just because some people are unreasonable doesn't mean that you can destroy the ones that are reasonable.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Agreed. What is your opinion, guys? I would love to know everybody else's opinion on this situation. It's an interesting one.
And Kim, tell us about your incredible adventure with Steven Bartlett.
So that is what this episode's going to be about today.
And obviously the new investments, because guys, yes, I was man down during a sickness, but the investment brain did not stop. So we have two new juicy investments that I've recently done. And obviously, like always, I will share that with you.
I'm looking forward to hearing about them, because I'm just seeing him busy on his phone, and I'm complaining about it a little bit. But I actually haven't asked you too much about what's truly going on. I'm a part of your WhatsApp group for the Forex bot. I'm a part of that.
That's a clue, guys. Forex bot.
So that's something to look forward to in this episode. And I do keep track, but I don't really get involved over there. That's kind of your thing. I do want to start getting involved with my own little investments journey. Saxo Bank actually inspired me to do this. When we spoke to Tara, the COO of Saxo Bank, she inspired me to get started on my own, like from a beginner's level, and just start venturing into it. So that's another little intention that I have set for our wellness section of the year, which is the rest of the year, inshallah. So yes, I am going to be getting involved. I am going to be listening to what you have to say about your Forex bot. But before that, I would love to discuss the Steven Bartlett event. So this was all thanks to IG, which is not Instagram. It's an investment platform. IG, they invited us to the Steven Bartlett event, and we invited some of you along with us. We actually ran a competition because it was on an invite basis and it was an intimate event. I would say there were maximum 100 people in the room. So please follow along and get involved and enter the competitions and come to these events with us, because they are truly inspiring, and I will tell you all about why and my experience with it in just a minute. So basically, Ross was on a work trip, so I went on my own.
I literally left the day of the event, and I found out about it like a week before. And this was something we were looking forward to forever, you know.
Yeah. And it was postponed from the rain. So from the floods, it was actually postponed. It wasn't supposed to be on this date. And as fate would have it, it ended up on that date. And so I had to go alone. Ross went on his work trip. And I'll just start from the beginning of the experience, and I'll go through everything that happened. So basically, I am a massive introvert. I know I sound extroverted, and I am a chameleon. That's why my name is Kim, because I'm a chameleon. But I can be very social if I want to be, and I do enjoy socializing. However, it takes a lot of energy to actually get me there. So to get out into a social situation, to get out to an event, it takes a lot of encouragement on my own part, as well as a lot of recharge time. So once I'm finished with socializing, finished with a big event, I need to like really go within and just retreat and have some recharge time. So I'm a massive introvert, and it's all about finding that balance, because it is really enjoyable and rejuvenating to socialize and connect with people who add value to your life. I have to say that, who like you really resonate with and add value to your life. And that is something that I found at this event. So I was like really, really, really happy that I went. So I really encouraged myself to go. I was like trying to boost myself to go.
And just to put it in there, I think you found probably our most exciting podcast guest there that is coming up, right?
Yes, this is coming up in the story. I'm going to take it one step at a time. There's a lot of exciting things in the story of the IG event with Steven Bartlett. So I took the baby along with me and the nanny along with me. And we went on over to the Waldorf Astoria Hotel in DIFC, which is a beautiful hotel, by the way. And it was a beautiful setting. And as you walked in there was like staff waiting to take your name, check you in. And then you walk through the room into almost like an entrance hall or like a separate room that had beautiful snacks and treats and like was very welcoming and well organized. You just felt very taken care of and it felt like very exclusive. And then I walked into the main event hall, which was like obviously like the conference room in the hotel. And there were round tables, which I really like it when there's round tables, by the way. It really encourages people to connect.
Correct.
So there were round tables and each of them had like their little like sparkling water and still water and people were seated around. And I scanned the room because I knew that Aaron from Momint was coming. So I scanned the room for him.
Another hint for one of my new investments.
Okay, so there's another hint. Okay. So he came and I'm so happy he came all the way from Abu Dhabi. He's a really busy guy, but he came and I'm so happy because I wasn't fully alone. So I went and I sat next to him. But it was really cool because everybody in that room was somebody who is specifically interested in a craft. So they're interested in investments. They're interested in AI, learning more in whatever their craft is, learning, expanding, innovating, growing. Because
doing things completely out of the box when it comes to their industry.
Yes, and getting ahead of the game, not in a competitive way, just to challenge themselves and their own passions and their own interests and to expand on themselves and improve on their own businesses. And you could tell by just the energy and the vibe of the room that everybody in there was genuinely on the same page. They all were passionate about it. They were all there to listen to what Steven had to say and to grow from it and to connect over it, which was something really special. It wasn't just a random crowd. It was like invites only.
So if you put all these people in one room and you took a whiteboard out and you wanted to save world peace, do you think you would have?
I think we would have made some great headway and come up with some really great inspirational ideas and conversations that vibrate on a level that's not your everyday conversation. Like you would come out of there feeling like super energized and inspired and buzzing with electricity and just inspiration, you know?
So this is just to help the listeners understand what type of people were in this room. Great minds of their industries.
Great minds, and I'll touch more on that as I go. So I sat down at the table, and obviously I knew Aaron, who was next to me, who in himself is doing exceptional things within the world. If you don't know about it, do listen to our podcast with him. He has the company Momint, so that's Momint. So Aaron from Momint, that's our podcast episode with him. I can't remember which number episode it is, but I'll link it for you underneath this one. So he was at the table. And then I turned to the people like sitting at the table. And by the way, everybody was like really well dressed. It wasn't like fancy, but you could see that they really take pride in themselves, that they really take care of themselves, that they really respect themselves and value themselves. And I think that's so important because when you turn to the people on the table, you could see that they had a story. They had something to offer. They had something to contribute. They had value to add. And everybody respected one another because of that. Not just because of the way they were dressed, of course, but that was just the setting. That was just the general setting, which I just found so wonderful to be a part of. It was just such a privilege to be a part of it. So I turned to the people at the table and I said, what brings you here? You know, what do you do? How did you come to this event? And they all just told me, oh, a friend invited me. It was an invite. So I was like, okay, that's interesting. And then I turn and I see at the table next to me somebody who I have mentioned on this podcast before many times. And actually, when I made Ross guess which celebrity he thinks I would like to be most like, this is the first person that he guessed. So she was there as a guest in the room, just as one of us. And that actually made me a little nervous. I thought that I was coming to see Steven Bartlett, but then this other celebrity was in the room as a guest, and I got so excited about her. And I think it's because she touches more on the self-help, self-work, inner life of people, and she helps that side of things. And Steven is more about business. Although his podcast touches on all aspects, just like we do, he's more about like business, finance, practical, running a business, being a leader, etc., which I don't think I have the qualities for. I have some of the qualities, but I'm definitely not a business person. Okay, I'm more of a creative. However, when Steven came on the stage and started talking, I started to think, actually, I think I am a business person. I'll tell you why. So basically, for people who ask me this, he is exactly the same in real life as he is on TV. So you got exactly the same person, like literally wearing exactly the same thing, looking exactly the same, speaking exactly the same. However, it was unedited. And the questions that they asked him, he had never seen those questions before. So he was answering it on the spot, in the moment, and it's unedited. So he's just saying what he thinks, and you can hear it as it's coming out of his mouth, as it's entering his brain, unedited. It's raw, it's real. You're seeing his emotion, in real time. So I think that was really special because you can get a better read on how he's feeling about things, how he expresses things, what he truly feels about things. You can get a better read on that, as well as extra bits and pieces of information that maybe would be edited out for certain purposes, different purposes, but you get those in real time. So that was great. And when he started talking, I really related to a lot of the things that he was saying. Usually I'm not too interested in talk about business, finance, running a company. I don't run a company. I help run UAE Grow Your Finances, but it's not an official company. It's just a podcast and a Facebook community. And I thoroughly enjoy it. So it's more of just a hobby. But since attending this event, I think we're going to take it a lot more seriously now. Because he spoke about his own podcast a lot at the event. He also touched on a lot of very important topics and matters that I resonated with and I felt are also important to me. And he basically said that a business person, and I honestly don't want to misquote him or anything, and so this is like very loose terms and I'm trying to gather. He basically said business person is not necessarily good at business. A good business person is a visionary, and they're very good at hiring the right people, hiring an exceptional team, and getting that team to work towards their vision. And running a successful business is not about having great minds come together with their visions. It's about one person's vision and the great team working towards that one vision. Which, I mean, as an artist, a visionary, conceptualizer, I resonated with that. And he also said that he basically just carried on what he did in childhood, which was open a spa in his bedroom and have his family come and pay for like spa services with paper money. He said he was like creating his own little economy there. But I did exactly the same thing. And Ross knows this story. I've told him so many times. I did exactly the same thing. I created a little spa in my room. I made them pay real money, I have to say.
So I think you're the smarter business.
Yeah, maybe. No. No. Definitely not smarter than Steven Bartlett. I would be a very happy woman. But I related to that, okay? And he spoke for a long time. And there were a lot of things that he said that just made me go ting, ting, ting. Actually, you don't need to be one specific way in order to create something great. That's the message that I took from it. You don't have to be one specific way in order to create something great. You can just tap into your own vision and your own authenticity and hire a team that's able to carry that out and create something great. You just have to be able to manage that team and relay your vision to them and stick to what it is that you want to achieve and the ethics and culture that you want to create within that team, which is something I certainly think we can do.
Absolutely.
Yeah. He also said that some of like the world's biggest traders or people who have worked with the world's biggest traders were in that room. So for people who are interested in trading, that's great to know. And then once the talk was over, we had a chance to socialize with the people in the room and mix with the people in the room, as well as take photos with Steven Bartlett, have him sign book copies and all of that. And there was also a question and answer session, which was really interesting. You know, you had these people in the room who were like really interesting people asking Steven questions and him responding in real time. So that was really cool also. And actually Aaron answered a question, which I got on video, which is interesting to see. But something that I really truly enjoyed was connecting with the people attending the event. And it made me feel and realize that I truly want to do more and more and more of these events, because it's such a fantastic opportunity to, what they say is network in inverted commas. But I don't really like that word. I think it's just such a condensed word. I like the word connect and build relationships and get to know people's minds and see what you can do for each other and work together and bounce off ideas off of each other and inspire one another.
Collaborate
Is the word. And I feel like that's very connected to also influencers. So maybe that has also a bit of a bad connotation, but collaborate is the word in this sense. I really enjoyed that. And so I was a little bit nervous to go up to this celebrity who was in the room, who I really admire and have admired for a long time. And I actually have a story about her and a story to tell about how she helped me in my life. And it was so interesting because there was a little indication of what Steven had been speaking about in the talk, about our self-confidence, our self-worth, our belief in ourselves, what we have to offer in the world, and just like taking risks and taking the steps to make our dreams happen and all of that. And this was like the perfect test, because I was like, you know, we all have our insecurities, we all have our doubts, we don't know if, you know, we're good enough. But actually, it was a great test. So I turned to Aaron and I said, this lady sitting behind me is somebody I greatly admire. And I would love to tell her my story about how she's helped me. And he was like, oh my gosh. He didn't actually know who she was, but he was like, oh my gosh, that's so cool. You have to go up to her. You have to go up to her. This actually happened before the event started. Sorry. So this happened before Steven came out. I was telling him this because I spotted her before Steven came out and talked. And then I said, no, I know myself. I will go up after the talk because I'll feel all inspired and I'll be in the right headspace to go up to her after the talk, after Steven talks to us. And he said, no, go now because she might slip out as the event ends. Go and introduce yourself and then talk to her afterwards and let her know that you want to speak to her. And I said, no, I actually know myself. And this is a big business guy that's like giving me this advice. And I said, no, I know myself. I know I'm going to be inspired afterwards. And I did doubt myself. Maybe that's the wrong decision, the wrong move. But I was like, no, I know myself. I know myself. I have to feel grounded in myself. I have to feel authentic, you know. And I was alone in that event, so I could really connect to myself, feel my own energy, and authentically lead from my heart, which is a gift. It was a gift. It all happened for a reason. So when the talk was over, I wanted to get a picture with Steven, but I also wanted to talk to this lady. So I was like a bit conflicted and I was rushing to get a picture with Steven because he was in a hurry. And then I looked around the room and she was gone. And I was like, oh no, I've messed up. He was right. I should have listened to him. I shouldn't have been my stubborn self. I should have gone and spoken to her. And I was like looking around the room, walking around, looking outside. Next thing, she came back. She came back in the room. And I didn't even think about it. As I saw her walking in that room and coming back towards the table, I just felt so grateful that I was in a room with this person who had done something to make a change in my life. And that I had this opportunity presented to me because of the work that we've done on this podcast. I felt proud of that. I felt proud of my story. I felt proud of my work. And so I didn't even think about it. It was just like a light was shining around her and I went towards that light. It was like a gravitational pull. And I didn't even pretend not to like stare at her. I was just like smiling and I just went up to her. I sat down right in front of her. As I sat down, I thought, oh my God, what am I doing? And I got so nervous. And she said, don't be nervous. And I thought, okay, you know what? If you tell me not to be nervous, I'm not going to be nervous. And I told her my story. And I told her also that we run a podcast. And she said, really? I would love to hear more about your story. She was very interested in the story. And I would love to come on your podcast sometime. And I couldn't believe it. I could not believe that she was offering to come on our podcast. What a privilege.
And at that stage, did you really think she meant that because she's such a famous person? Or do you think she was just saying it because you're all at the event, you're all inspired, you're all having a good time?
I know that she's somebody who means what she says. From watching her videos online, and I listen to a lot of what she has to say, she doesn't say things and commit to things that she doesn't mean. So I knew that, but there was a little voice inside of me, like a little voice that we all have, saying, oh no, she couldn't really mean that. If she found out who I really am, like I'm not a big time celebrity or anything, she won't come on my podcast, I'm sure of it. However, I said to myself, no, I do have a story to tell. And I do actually have value to add to her life too. It's not just a one-way thing. I'm not just taking value from her because I have a lot to share with her too. I've come a long way in my story. I've experienced a lot in my life. I've lived a lot of lifetimes worth of experience. And I am so passionate about what she has to say and what she does for the world that I feel that we can truly have a beautiful conversation where we both grow and learn, or where we all grow and learn. So I look so forward to it, and it's such an opportunity for us, but I do also feel that we have a lot to contribute.
Absolutely.
Although I had that little niggling voice inside of me, at the same time, I knew that this was something that it will happen. We will do it. So I did reach out to her afterwards, and we did confirm, and it's going to be happening, inshallah. Obviously, that's why I'm not saying the name or anything. You know, things happen, just like the floods happened and Steven's flight was cancelled.
And I missed this amazing event.
Yes.
Because of it.
But what's meant to be will be.
Absolutely.
And that's what I felt in that moment, that this was a meeting that was meant to be. It was like a gravitational pull. It was the universe just put us in that moment, and it felt so right. And I know that when it happens, it will feel so right, and it will be so authentic and so amazing, and I look so forward to it. Having said all that, just going to this one event, I learned so much about myself. Going there alone, connecting with these people, challenging my own doubts, my own little insecurities, and then also learning from Steven Bartlett and what he has to say about making a success of yourself and navigating within the world, where I don't label myself as somebody who's necessarily like a business person, a CEO type or anything like that. I'm a very deep feeler. I'm an empathetic person. I lead with kindness. I struggle to say no. These are all things that I don't identify with. I'm working on them. I know that we can shift and change, but that has been my dominant personality so far in life. So it's always great to be in a room with people who can expand your mind and realize that you have other possibilities and that you can do things that you didn't think that you were made for. And I really hope that you guys, our listeners and our community, can become a part of this and be a part of these events in the future, so that like you actually feel and experience what I'm talking about, and as well as we can work together on it and we can come together and discuss our possibilities. Because really, when you're around people who are doing amazing things in the world, like Steven Bartlett and this other lady who you'll soon know who it is, you're vibrating on a different level. You feel it in your energy. You just feel leveled up. You feel inspired. You feel that you can do anything. You feel that you can really take the steps to make anything happen for yourself that you want. Not to say that you won't have obstacles, not to say that you won't have your inner demons. All of those things you'll still have to work with. But you have that vision. You have the vision. You have the dream, you have the drive. It becomes clear to you that, okay, I can do this. I can do it. And I'm going to try. And that's all you need. That's really all you need. So it's amazing how these things can really inspire you. And the most important thing that was running through my mind is that if Ross was in that room and had the opportunity to connect with the minds in that room who are in line with his passion, great things would have happened for you and your dreams. And because Ross just has a spark and fire in his soul for business, he is so passionate about it and investing and money making and all of that. It's really a natural passion and a natural ability. Actually, he has all the qualities for that type of venture.
I'm a 95% hustler and 5% man.
I don't know where you saw that, but did you come up with that yourself?
Yeah, I just thought about it.
Wow, we need to put that on our Instagram as a quote.
Yeah.
That's amazing. And Steven, in his talk, he was saying that he invests in people. So for those of you who don't know, he's on Dragon's Den UK, which is like the American Shark Tank. He's one of the investors on the panel, one of the dragons. And somebody asked him the question, how he makes his choice on which businesses to invest in. And he said, it's the person. He invests in people because when he was 19 years old, somebody believed in him and invested in him. And he thought that this guy was crazy.
He didn't even know him.
He didn't even know him.
He flew him out to another city, I think. Gave him how much?
I can't remember. He said tens of thousands of pounds and he was shocked. It was a lot for him.
Nothing, just gave him the money and said that I know it's going to be worth it one day.
And he was right. I mean, that guy had an eye, didn't he? He invested in people and it paid off.
So think about it. If that guy didn't give that money to Steven, he probably would not be the sensation he is today.
I don't necessarily agree with that. I think he would have just gone for the next thing.
I think that everything's meant to happen. And I think
yes.
I don't think you get many shots at that type of life.
You could be right.
And you have to take it.
Yeah.
For me, some people say I'm too risky as an investor, but you have to take the opportunities when they're in front of you.
Yeah.
I'm not a boring investor, as everyone knows. And yeah, I wish I was there. It probably would have changed my life. But I'm pretty sure there are many more of these talks out there that we will start going to when we recover from these flu and sicknesses that we've been going through.
Oh my gosh, we are focusing on health.
Correct.
And we'll bring that into the podcast too, because it truly is so important and connected to everything.
So, should I tell everyone about my latest investments?
Yes, please, Ross. Are you ready to make finance fun?
Absolutely.
In 3, 2, 1, fun.
Okay, so I'm going to be brief with these investments because the one investment that I recently took on, I will be doing a podcast with the gentleman that started the company. We will be doing a podcast with the gentleman that started the company in the next few weeks, hopefully, or a couple of months. The other one I'll start off with because we've done a podcast with Aaron from Momint. I've just officially invested with cash into his business. A hardcore cash, the cash that is actually there for the taken in the bank account. We invested that all into a property and took a mortgage and took a loan and took so much debt. So it just wasn't the time or the place to invest any more money and take any more debt on. However, it came a time where we actually got some of our money back from our wedding that was cancelled. Thank God. Thank you to Daniel, my brother, who's a lawyer. He's incredible. He helped us all the way. And
his law firm that he works for.
Yeah, we managed to sue the wedding venue and we managed to get like a half of the money back, which is fantastic. And it meant a lot. So we were able to finally invest in Aaron's incredible business Momint. I'm very lucky that I'm a good mate of his. So he kept my safe note open until I had the cash to pay him for it. They have just opened another round, I think around $150,000 they're looking for. So it's a small round just to get them over the profitability mark. So Momint is an incredible company. They're doing incredible things. It's all about, at the moment, I would say 90% of their business is about putting solar panel on people's houses in countries that most people cannot afford electricity, or the country itself cannot afford electricity.
Or they just have a crisis where there's not enough.
Correct. Like South Africa. South Africa, they have power outages all the time. Basically what Aaron's company would do, they would come in and they would put solar panels on people's houses that are willing to pay a monthly fee for those solar panels. And you as an investor can come and say, I will buy a part of that solar panel, so crowdfunding on the solar panel, and then I will get a 12% return a year. And that will be paid all through blockchain. And blockchain, obviously, because it's paid through blockchain, it goes incredibly quickly. So you get your payouts incredibly quickly. There's not many costs involved in the company. Therefore, you are able to get a great return on your investment. Another part of their business is crowdfunding through the blockchain platform that they have, where you can buy parts of whiskey barrels, investment whiskey barrels, investment art, all sorts of things through their platform. So it's an incredible company with a lot of room for growth. They're looking at being profitable next year, which is a great sign. And if anyone is interested, please let me know. I will put you in touch with Aaron. It would be great to close the round as soon as possible, because I am an active investor in the company, and he is absolutely an amazing guy. And we will have him on our podcast again just to get an update on how the company is doing.
And I want to be clear that you did not invest with a gun to your head. You chose to invest in this company because you believe in this company so strongly. It's not an incentive in any way whatsoever. You just found it, invested in it, got him on a podcast, was wowed by him, believed in the company, and invested in the actual company. So there's no background incentive or deals going on. It's just purely you believing in the company and seeing great potential.
I think I did a bit of what Steven Bartlett does. I don't mean to put myself on his level, but I invested in Aaron, to be honest, before I invested in his company. I met him for a cup of coffee. He was a friend of my brother's. I met him for a cup of coffee in Dubai, and he blew me away. The guy has a mind like you've never ever seen someone have before. So he's a great guy, and if you guys are interested in getting in touch with him and investing in his business or hearing more about his business, let me know and I can put you in touch. My first investment is a private equity. It's my third private equity that I've invested in. I currently have 50% of our capital invested in private equity. And some people that are listening to this podcast might think I'm absolutely bonkers.
Including me.
However, I know these private equities will times by 4 to 8, and I think Aaron's will go even way further than that.
And by the way, guys, when we got this wedding money back, while Ross goes and gets a glass of water so he doesn't pay full attention to what I'm saying, he just went ahead and took it and put it into the company without fully telling me. He told me I'm going to use it towards my investment with Momint, but he didn't tell me it was going to be literally all the money. So I had a look and had absolutely nothing left from this court case that we went through for so long. So you must really believe in this company and in Aaron.
100%, I do.
Because you're risking your marriage.
Well, at the end of the day, we do have a beautiful house now, and you are furnishing it, and I'm not being very strict on the budget.
Anymore.
I was in the beginning. I said, this is my budget, and I'm not going above it, and now I don't even care about the budget. I say, do what you want to do.
Although I'm very good at sticking to keeping things reasonably priced.
Absolutely. You don't go crazy. And on to the second investment. The second one is a Forex bot. I've heard about these things before. And Honestly, I thought they were a load of bogus. They were like absolute scams, because people were saying, I get 30% a month, and all you have to do is let the bot do its work. You don't have to do anything, and you get great returns. And it just sounded like a load of bogus, to be honest. However, a gentleman by the name of John got in touch with me, I think around a year and a half ago. He became a member of the group to tell me about his business. And it was all about this Forex bot. And I couldn't even take him seriously. I said, listen, man, I cannot do this. I've heard about these before. I heard about people losing hundreds of thousands with this bot, thinking that it's going to change their life and all of this stuff. So I kept on coming back to him. He didn't push. I don't think he needed to push with his situation, with the amount of money he was making from this bot. But I kept on coming back and saying, no, I can't. No. That went on for literally 1 year. Finally, I said to him, okay, let's meet and let's talk about this. So we met, we talked about it, and I was kind of convinced. He said, I have a Discord group, it's public, you can come in, you can check what's going on. These are the messages from it. This is someone, this is that. So I decided to go in and invest, but invest the minimum. Okay, the minimum is a lot of money. It's £2,000. That is the minimum in order to invest in the bot. The good thing about this is you don't give John £2,000 and walk away. You create an account on a Forex platform that is very well known, very regulated. It's all under your name, under your passport, everything like that. So you can withdraw and you can put in more money as you wish. The next thing you have to do is you have to buy the bot. Okay, the bot is around £499, but this is a once-off fee. So you never have to buy it again. And then you have to pay $30 a month for the server costs for the bot to run on your account while you sleep.
And this is all legal?
All legal. And he has an established company running this bot. It's not some dodgy thing that he's doing on the side. This is his life. This is what he does for a living. And basically, that's the way it works. You set up the server, you set up the bot, and you set up the account. You invest the money you need to invest. You invest and you withdraw as you wish, and the bot runs 100% for you. The most amazing thing is you will get 1% a week.
A week?
That is crazy. Around 1% a week. I'm not going to lie and tell you I get 1% every single week. Sometimes less, sometimes more. It all depends on the market.
So like an average of 1% at the moment, in the market at the moment.
Correct. The market is very volatile at the moment because I think of the US election. I think that's the reason why the Forex market is up and down. So there's a bit of, time that there hasn't been an executed trade. However, it's normally on an average of 1% a week. I've started a WhatsApp group with there's around 6 or 7 of us that have invested in this platform through the group. And yeah, it's going really well. It's a great support group, and we all supporting each other through this volatile time on the markets and
rooting for each other.
But
doing well.
Yes, and learning. We've all relatively paid off our bot already and on to making profits. The good thing also about this is if you invest £5,000 or more, which of course I have,
of course,
you will get the server for free. So you don't have to pay that $30 every month. So that recurring cost goes away and everything becomes profit.
And he keeps getting excited about this bot and telling me, oh my gosh, I've made this many pounds just today, or I've made this percentage just this week. And I'm like, okay, because I don't really know what any of it means. And he's like, do you know how amazing this is? Do you know how revolutionary this is? You don't get this with any other investment platform. You don't get this with any other investment this quickly.
Absolutely. I do have to say, like I said, it is a volatile time in the market and the trades are not been happening as frequently as they have for the last 3 months, because I've been with it for the last 3 months. But as John says, and a lot of people that have invested through him on the Discord group and stuff like that, this is a normal thing that happens every probably around 7 or 8 months, 6 or 8 months, depending on when the US election is or there's big things happening in the market. That's what changes things. However, the good thing about the bot is it doesn't close a trade that is ridiculously in red. It will obviously will wait until it gets back into the green. And yeah, I mean, last week a large amount of the members on the WhatsApp group had a trade that closed and was like the full weekly profit that they got in one trade. So it's an incredible opportunity. If anyone is interested, I don't want to push anyone. If you are not into Forex, I wasn't into Forex, but I am into money. So that's why I went ahead with it, and I'm glad I did. So if anyone is interested, let me know. I can put you in touch with John. He can take you through everything. He's an open book. He will not hide anything from you. He'll tell you everything straight. And yeah, come join our small community that we are growing on WhatsApp.
Even if you're not into money, we all need money. We all need more money. So
unfortunately.
So get involved. Not unfortunately, actually, it's quite an amazing thing. Money is basically nothing. It's like air. It's just a number on your account, your phone or whatever. And you actually get amazing things in exchange for nothing. That's what I always used to think when I was young.
Yeah, we don't even carry even the paper around anymore.
I used to think I'm giving this person paper and they're giving me something actually amazing, like sweeties or whatever it was that I was getting when I was young. I was like, a toy. I'm giving them paper and they're giving me a toy back. That's a fair deal. That's what I used to think. So it's not really unfortunate. We all need it. And so get involved if you want to make more money. And it's not a promise. We never promise anything.
No, and neither will John. John will not tell you it's guaranteed. Anyone that tells you you get a guaranteed 1% a week, they're talking out of their...
where the sun doesn't shine. Okay, so that's it. So you have the two investments, the...
private equity with Momint. Have a Google, look them up. Obviously, I can send you all of their investment decks and whatever information you need. And obviously, Erin can have a call with you and send you the other documents that you might require. And then you have the Forex bot, which is completely passive. Actually, they both are passive. I don't do anything in Erin's company. So they're both 100% passive. If anyone is interested in the passive investing lifestyle, wants to make some great returns, not guaranteed, but I know they will, then get in touch with me and I can put you in touch with either Erin or John to take you forward with their investments.
If you want to know about Ross's other investments, we do have episodes on that. We have a full rundown of what he invests in, how to start, how to make sure you have your foundation in place, your safe, solid foundation before venturing into risky investments. We don't recommend going straight into them. And he will never be finished with adding extra things to his portfolio because he's always finding things, always expanding, always growing, always learning more, meeting more people, connecting with more people. So there'll always be things that we're adding, and we actually keep track of that on our Instagram as well. So we add Instagram posts all the time of what he's investing in and what he believes in.
It is absolutely no secret. I scream it from the rooftops, and we all should. This is not something that we should be hiding. We just watched a podcast the other day where they said, you need to talk about money. Don't be ashamed. You need to talk about money. Even if you earn a little money, it doesn't matter. Tell your friends what you've invested in. Tell your friends what you're doing with your money. Let's all talk about it, because at the end of the day, this community was built so that we can share and we can grow our finances together. Don't just tell someone I invest in ETF and then go to sleep. You have to tell them, teach them, train them, show them what they have to do.
Well, you don't have to, but being open to the conversation is beneficial for everybody. You don't have to. It's not a must. And nothing in life is a must. I want to add that. But being open to the conversation is beneficial, because once you start those conversations, especially if you're open to talking about it with people who are successful in their investments and their ventures, that's where you really learn and you get the secrets and the tips and, invaluable information.
Absolutely. They were talking about how people do not pay certain taxes because they live in a certain city and this and that. So it's all about learning from each other and growing your finances. That's what our community is all about.
Yeah.
And on that note, don't forget, guys, pay yourself first because
You
you are worth it.
it.